Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 124 of Floating Through Film. This week we are, what are we calling this? Silent movie night?
Something like that.
Basically.
I love it.
Because we called it one crime night, so
Yeah.
it's a silent movie night.
I'm preparing, kind of like prepping for next series.
For Keaton.
Yeah.
Keaton pick. Even though these aren't really like Keaton movies at all.
But I'm just, maybe it's the silent side, get us back in like the.
That's why like this is the
film.
most hesitant because it's like not technically a genre.
Yeah.
But even though silent movies are kind of our genre nowadays, but
Is genre just grouped in? You can't like it's like people nowadays can't watch silent movies unless you get accustomed to it. I feel like that's like a genre staple. Like you're not like if you don't enjoy a genre,
that's true.
it takes a while for you to like get the rhythm of it, and that's what silent cinema is too. But
so yeah,
it definitely has a shit ton of genres in it, obviously. But
is there any Keaton in this?
in the Doll, yeah, for sure.
Maybe, yeah, I would say.
The Doll has
Three Batman, no, but.
Three Bad Men has some, but that's just
maybe
because
the story,
it's just like comedy.
the more story of it.
Man.
It's still,
I don't know.
but I don't know. I guess we can just start with the Doll.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, this is our what? No, Lubitsch is our third Lubitsch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second silent because we did the Marriage Circle.
Yeah. We still haven't
the
done
Doll.
2S movies either.
It's actually crazy.
Well, we did Design for Living
of the
already.
Lubitsch movies.
I know we
we've
haven't done To Be or Not to Be Your Angel. Yeah, so.
Of the Lubitsch movies we've done, the Doll and the Marriage Circle being two of the three is kind of crazy. Design for Living's not that crazy, even though like Letterboxd says that's his fifth most popular right now. I guess.
Yeah. We need to do To Be or Not to Be an Angel though.
Do we?
Yeah.
No, you're like Angel, yes.
To Be or Not to Be yes.
You're not
I think I like Trouble in Paradise better.
I need to
Paradise.
rewatch that. But yeah, Lubitsch. I feel like we all
To Be or
love,
Not to Be.
I feel like we all love Lubitsch.
We do.
I guess every director has their great dictator.
All right. Oh, God. No, let's not even compare that. Like, oh no. To Be or Not to Be so much better than The Great Dictator. It's crazy.
Oh, let's call no.
I'm not even joking. I like The Great Dictator too. Don't get me wrong.
So much better. I need to watch it again. I might.
It's unbelievable.
They're like the same quality.
Oh my no.
They are. To Be or Not to Be is very funny though. I do agree.
Okay, but what should
But it's just like Chris, we've done. He's like one of the staple directors that we just do on like breaks and stuff. And
Yeah,
just
I feel
like
like that's
randomly,
kind of just that. Ford's gonna be like that too.
no one's picked him. Like,
Well, Ford has a lot of movies, so we can definitely do a lot of his in breaks if we want to, and still have enough left over for a series.
yeah.
Johnny Toe probably.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the Doll this is my first time watching it. And really what struck me, there's a lot of things, but like, obviously how funny it is, and just how like joyful it is to watch, I feel like. But also like, it does a really good job of not exhausting the premise of it. Like I feel like if this movie was like made nowadays, there would be this whole like 3-act structure where there's all these like ups and downs. Well, this one is very simple and to the point where it's just
It'd be like Fellini's Casanova.
okay, let's calm
Damn.
down, calm down. Fellini doesn't do 3 acts.
yeah, that's I would say.
That's true. No.
Yeah, Casanova is
he
just
doesn't
like
do
crazy
three
in a
acts.
different
Yeah, it's
way.
crazy different way. But like, I would say more like Poor Things or something
Oh, I haven't seen
like that.
I don't want to.
Oh, I wonder if
either.
that's. I haven't seen Poor Things, so I don't know.
Is that what she
it's
is?
not. She's not really a robot. I
She's
guess
not
like
all?
maybe kind of. It's like she's a child's brain in a woman's body or something. It's
that's really creepy.
It's fucking weird. I don't like that
That's
movie.
really creepy.
But like simply what I'm saying is like this type of movie, I feel like nowadays would be very drawn out. Like you'd have these ups and downs in the relationships. Like this one, it just like it just kind of gets straight to the point and gets to like the good meat of it. And I mean, obviously, like a large part of that is because it's like 60 minutes long, but also I think it's very much not trying to have any filler within it, which just like I feel like a Lubitsch staple. He's very good at flowing through movies really well.
Yes.
This one was great.
No, I also really enjoyed it. I will say the YouTube version I watched, the score was insufferable. It was
I
actually
mean,
insufferable.
that's why at a certain point I just like lower it really low.
Yeah.
Like I still need to just learn to watch it with that totally off, but it's still kind of hard.
Or
I mean,
something
if
like
you
that.
have there are definitely good ones. Like the ones or the one that Luke watched, it sounded a lot better than the one I watched at least. It wasn't as grating on the nerves, but putting all that aside, it didn't actually detract from my enjoyment of the overall movie, which does say a lot about the movie itself. But I do agree with Luke. I just think this is an exceptionally funny movie. Like, every character in this is freaking hilarious. Like, that little kid is my favorite kid.
Yeah. Probably
like,
my
in
favorite
cinema.
character,
Like, he's so freaking funny,
hilarious.
man. But even more than that, like, it does kind of get to why I love Buster Keaton a lot too. It's like, silent cinema is just so great, and it's something that was lost for a while until, well, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely come back, but like just like this, the freedom of bodily movement, just watching a body move on camera and seeing all the interesting things you can do with it. Yeah. Basically, both these movies kind of have that, but especially this one, especially whenever she's like acting like a doll and everything. It's just so it just like it shows you like why I love people like Buster Keaton a lot, because he just does things with his body on cinema that's just like you don't ever see nowadays, unless you get to like Jackie Chan and like Tom Cruise, which is why I say it's not like dead, but definitely like after the silent era, it kind of killed. Like the freedom of like body movement kind of like died whenever dialogue became way more important, but because like that's one thing in silent cinema, like you portray your feelings and stuff with your body, not as much with dialogue obviously, or with dialogue cards.
I guess like acting just became more naturalistic over time, or like weird.
Became less expression. Like. But even this, like, Keaton's not expressionistic, really, per se. It's just fun watching his body move. But yeah, it's definitely a very fun movie. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all, either.
I agree with you guys. I really liked it. Honestly, I didn't like it as much on rewatch.
Damn.
Like, you were talking about the flow, but I still, like, some of Lubitsch's later movies start to flow way better. Like, he's still padding a little bit. Like,
Dave's a dialogue fan. Sound fan. No,
there's like a long ass chase scene with like the 40 maidens, and it's like, it's a long ass time.
Oh no, that's a great scene. That's a great sequence.
No, Chaplin's right. Chase scenes suck.
no. Buster Keaton probably disagrees.
Buster Keaton definitely disagrees, but
Buster Keaton hater too.
It's hard to do a good chase scene, basically, without making it feel like filler a little bit. No, but after especially after they get to the priest stuff, like, it still has a lot of good, like, Lubitsch subtext that I love. No, and there's, like, just a lot of interesting stuff with the doll that you can kind of think about. Like,
like literally, it's like
sex doll stuff is, it's kind of obvious,
but like at the same time, it's like I feel like it's definitely very relevant today still. Like,
no, exactly, like to me, like. That aspect of it makes it relevant today in a way, but like this time I was watching it, like what I was thinking about more is almost like how guys just treat even their own daughters or their own or women in general. You know, not just like sex dolls, but like I guess it's kind of similar things. But how because how okay he is with it when he's just like a doll. When he just like a doll, you know. I don't know, but like. Because it's weird that how, like, this is, like, also the special daughter doll that he has, like, set aside, too, more than, like, the normal dolls, you know? So, like, it's obviously, like, you could just be like, these are just,
and
like...
the normal dolls are all, like, immoral.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see, like, this how men just treat women in general, you know? Like, no, but it's a funny movie, too. But The Apprentice definitely holds it up.
The what?
The Apprentice character. He's the kid.
Oh, okay, yeah, that gets amazing.
Yeah. No, honestly, the movie kind of relies on him, too, like, for some key scenes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because, like, the narrative hinges on him. Like, he's the one that breaks the doll, so that she has to fake it. And,
just his demeanor, too, is just so fun.
It's so great.
He's got, like, this rebellious attitude to him. It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the suicidal attitude, too, which is more funny.
That's definitely the pre-code coming out.
But, I think we can just get into it, though.
Yeah.
So, I guess the movie is in 4 acts. It tells us... it starts with like 4 amusing tales from a toy chest. Yeah. Honestly, it's like a pretty good opening too.
Oh yeah, the Lubitsch.
It's like dollhouse set.
Lubitsch is the guy.
Is that Lubitsch?
Yeah, it is Lubitsch.
Okay.
Yeah, Lubitsch is like the one constructing it. Like,
no, it's okay. I thought so, but I was like, I don't know. Because he's kind of young in this, so.
You could, if you look at his Letterboxd picture, it looks the exact same.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, I read that it was him.
No, but then...
him is like the controller, basically.
Yeah, and he's like setting up the house and stuff. Yeah. And then it cuts to like a real house where like people walk out of.
It looks like... it doesn't even look real, to be honest.
A real set, anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it still looks kind of like painterly or cartoony.
Well, that's why this one's kind of random, too. Because they're like, just like... the guy falls into water.
It's like completely square, like piece of water, like.
And then he's like praying for the sun, and then like the sun comes out with like a cutout. And,
it's like a smiley face.
Starts burning him. That's why I'm like, why is this in here? Actually, now I'm thinking.
I don't know. I like it though.
Well, because isn't this just a random guy too?
Yeah, it's just like a random couple. Because then the sun starts burning them, and it's like smiling and stuff, and then it just cuts to the town.
Okay.
But I'm like, wait, I don't think it ever refers back to this or anything.
I don't know. You may just be setting the mood. I don't know.
Of what?
Movie.
The sun like burns people, I guess. Or...
Well, not specifically that. I don't know. I don't know.
Now that I'm thinking, because it's a good scene, but I'm like, wait, what is that to do with the movie?
I mean,
no, but then we basically it's like some narrative stuff about basically the guy has to get married.
Yeah.
It's a silent film classic, or just like a cinema classic of like you have to get married to get this amount of money.
Yes.
This is but what I like about the doll is it actually has a better take on it than most, because a lot of them are like the guy is trying to get married as hard as he can, and he just can't because the women don't like him. Like I don't know if we'll watch Seven Chances, but that's a Buster Keaton movie like that. That's why I don't love it as much. But like doing it like this, where the guy doesn't want to be married, and so he has to get a sex doll basically to get the money instead. Like, because he still wants the money, but he doesn't want to like marry an actual person. It's just, I don't know. It makes it funnier. So
especially like, I don't know if Lubitsch meant it, but there's definitely some you could take it some homoerotic directions if you wanted to. But
yes.
He'd rather just get a doll to marry in real life so he could live with a bunch of guys.
Like, he wants to live with the priests.
Yeah, exactly.
Guy like unknown sexuality, like.
And especially since Lubitsch makes such a point, like these priests aren't actually priests. Like they live like just like normal. They're just like they eat a bunch and they drink and stuff. Like,
He also, I think, doesn't the guy also say something? Like, he says some lines in the movie where it's like kind of like has some subtext like that. I can't remember though. I might also be thinking of 3 Bad Men, because 3 Bad Men definitely has subtext like that. But
interesting. I didn't get it. I got it more in this one, but you'll have to point that out.
Oh, I will. I have it in my notes because it's a very funny scene.
But no, but basically, yeah, he's like running away. This one, like, it basically leads to this chase scene of like 40 maidens chasing him and stuff.
What's the line that I said in the group chat?
While you're watching.
Hold on, because it's when he arrives at the priest and he's like,
40 maidens are after me.
Yeah, 40 maidens are on my trail. It was like in the moment, like I knew it was happening the whole time, but when he just said it, it was just like really funny.
There's like a funny shot of all the other guys like watching too, like jealous.
No, it's okay, but also like when the chase happens, when he jumps out the window, and then his sick father is like runs out and jumps out the window after him. But like right before he jumps out, he gets like a little more of the medicine from the spoon, and then when the father's chasing after him, like chasing away from the maidens, like the doctor's like following right behind him and still like spoon feeding him like the medicine. It's so funny. Yeah,
but that basically leads him to the abbey. The abbey, I guess. That's where priests live.
Yeah. Priests.
The monastery.
The monastery. They call it.
Basically, they're poor.
I don't know if there's a difference. That's what I'm trying to think.
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
There's probably some like technical definition or something.
They're
allowed to like just.
Well, because convents that's nuns also.
That's nuns.
Yeah, I guess an abbey and a monastery are the same thing.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Either way, it's funny when it cuts to them because it just cuts them just like gorging themselves, like eating. Like
it's a very Buñuel scene, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
Because I was thinking of which movie was that? Milky Way. Whenever it's the smoking, drinking priests.
That's Phantom of Liberty.
Is that Phantom of Liberty?
Yeah. But I can see why you mix that up. Honestly, there might be a scene in the Milky Way where they're just making a drink.
Something like that. No, yeah, that is Phantom of Liberty.
But I know they definitely do in Phantom of Liberty.
That's the one I was thinking of for sure.
And then, like, because when they get the knock, they all like hide their food under the table and stuff.
And then they try to scheme.
Yeah. No, this is the part where he's like 40 minutes on my trail. That's where he's like trying to tell the guy.
But don't they say to him like, "Oh, we have like no food, like money for food or whatever"?
Well, that's whenever he comes in there. He like comes in, sits down. And then like they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't have a lot of food." And the guy pulls out like this giant fucking like thing of food and starts eating it. And he's like, "Oh, here's a piece of bread for you."
Yeah, and basically. Well, I think they're trying to like scheme money out of him, from what I read.
After they read the little notice that he gives them,
that's a little later. They agree to let him stay to hide.
Okay,
and we see them like drinking together and stuff.
And then they start talking about the food also.
Yes,
how they need money.
But then that's when they get this letter about from the father saying he gets 300,000 franc salary if he agrees to get married, and like all the priests start dreaming about like. I forgot what they say. They say something about oh yeah, they say, do you know how many pork knuckles you could eat for that? 300,000 francs. But this is where I was like, is there a gay subtext here where because he's like, I won't be marrying any woman. He's like he's like really mad about having to marry a woman. And that's when they come up with this idea to marry a doll instead. Yeah, because they know this like doll maker.
Hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious. Honestly, a great name. Yeah, because it's spelled like Hilarius, I think.
Something like that.
No, it's spelled like hilarious. That's how you spell hilarious. No. Hilarious.
Oh, okay. Is it spelled the same way?
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember though, because I was watching.
No, it's IUS, not IOUS.
Because I was just watching the English or the English translation or whatever. They had the English subtitles on the screen, not the original German ones. So.
I guess on Letterboxd it's Hilarius.
Is that German for hilarious? Probably not.
Maybe.
It might be. German's pretty similar to English, so.
Either way, we get this like. Honestly, this is a very staple cinematic character. This kind of doll maker type weirdo. Like
got crazy like guy. Makeup hairstyling type stuff.
Honestly, this like beard, this like hair thing they do like multiple times.
Oh yeah, when it turns
turns white, and then at the end it turns back.
Yeah.
No, but basically they come in to get this doll. I don't know. Is there anything important here? I guess that's what we're interested in. Too.
Well, we have like it starts out. It starts out with us seeing just him building like his daughter first, essentially. Because
modeling the doll after his daughter, like a doll after.
Because that's like one of the funny parts where the apprentice goes and he's like, you need to smile, and she's not smiling, and so he goes over and tickles his chin, and then walks back over, and he's like, "What'd you do to my daughter?" And he just slaps him. But a lot of abuse to this apprentice going on in this movie, but
no, that's why he has to get his boy back in other ways.
Yes.
He actually does. Like my favorite scene in the movie, honestly. Later.
Okay.
But this is like where basically we see kind of the setup of Lancelot is the main guy's name, I think.
Yes.
He like doesn't like any of the normal dolls.
It's just to showcase
he doesn't
the
like
dolls
the normal
moving,
dolls.
Honestly. I like the dolls.
Well, wait. But when he walks in, is that when the apprentice opens the door to let him in? And he goes, "Come in here, son."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally, like acting like
he's
a fucking adult. Like it's funny. So.
No, but then he's like, I don't want any of these normal dolls. I want someone more respectful.
They're all too risque or whatever. Like,
well, I like whatever. It's always fun just watching how many actors like people have for sets like this, because we'll get to that in 3 Bad Men also. But just like seeing all the dolls actually just walk out to him doing doing their movements was really cool. I just like shit like that. But they're not moral enough for him. So.
But then But basically, like, as that's happening, we see upstairs. We cut to, like, upstairs where the apprentice is, like, dancing with the doll and stuff, being a little weird.
He's in love. He's in love.
Yeah. But then it falls and the arm breaks, and it's a really funny moment where he's like, she walks in, the real girl walks in as he's, like, about to drink pink to kill him.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
But then she's like, okay, I'll fake being the doll.
Yeah, while you fix it.
While I fix it. But, like, they expect a quick fix, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But then, like, the dad's like, okay, let me get the doll. And it ends up being his daughter, etc., etc. And it basically ends up with them leaving with the real girl instead of the doll.
I see. It's also funny when he initially shows her off, and she's, like, sneezing and coughing, and they're like, they keep looking back, like... like super suspicious, but like they still can't notice that it's like a doll or no real person. I mean,
this is where the movie starts to cook, honestly, for sure.
Especially where like this is where you get some of these dual meanings of like this guy the father thinks he's giving away a doll, but if you just read it as him giving away his daughter, like as some fathers probably do, or especially in this time and stuff. Like he's like, in the meantime, get acquainted with the mechanism. And stuff. He like leaves him alone and stuff.
And he gave him the owner's manual and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then they leave. I guess they go and there's a great shot of them. Like, might be skipping some stuff. But there's a great shot of them in the carriage with the moon now with the face because. Yeah, we've already seen the sun with the face, like the most random scene in the movie. Apparently, I still don't understand why. But now we get like the moon, like watching them.
Hey, I'll take it.
And men in horse costumes.
Regardless.
No, Because like at first it's like frowning at them, and then it like winks at them at the end when she's like, the kiss or something.
Because she definitely like it's fun because she's playing along with it. Like she's having fun with this idea at least right now because she's just like laying over on him, like making him feel super uncomfortable. It's just really funny, but
Yeah.
they have really good chemistry together. Honestly, the two actors. In this.
Oh wait, also okay. There's also a moment we skipped when the apprentice is walking the doll or the real girl to like fake being the doll, and like the woman opens the door and like sees them doing it, and she has to like quickly act like she's a doll all of a sudden 'cause she's walking normally, and then basically like the apprentice is taking advantage of it. He's like kissing her on the cheek, like it's like so funny, like basically taking advantage that like she has to act like she's
a doll.
She's a doll, but yeah.
No, but then okay, so the third act starts with Lancelot's father, who's basically in distress because his son is gone.
He's on his deathbed.
He's on his deathbed. Honestly,
Like
this is where we get some of the most formalist, some cool formal stuff. Where like there's like a dual shot of him with like thinking of the future of like his family all like fighting over his stuff.
Yeah, with all the mouths.
Yeah, and then there's like
He's like they're like
12 mouths all in the
whose face is this? He's like, no, just split it up equally.
Yeah, the mouth. There's like 12 mouths all talking at the same time.
I love the 12 mouths because it's in the same scene where the vase breaks because he's like it's just his inner world essentially. Like he wants it all to go away.
No, but then like Lancelot arrives with his new wife slash doll slash actually real person.
And he makes a miraculous recovery.
Yes. No, it's kind of crazy. So he's introducing this doll as a real person. That's actually a real person.
That's acting like a doll.
Yeah. So there's like 3 different layers or 3 different things, depending on whose like perspective you take it. I feel like because like there's Lancelot's father, who thinks she's a real girl.
Yeah.
Then there's Lancelot who thinks she's a doll, and then there's the doll who's actually a real girl, but not the real girl that the father does.
Okay, interesting.
It's a weird dynamic going on.
Like different identities. Like
she's basically like a different person to like every person.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
No, but then I guess they go to the bed.
I do like before we go to bed, like the actual introduction of the father is hilarious because she just walks up like a robot, sticks her hand out a couple times, and then walks back, and his dad's like, "What the hell was that?" Basically, and then he's like, "Oh, she comes from a very formal family," and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my god.
No, but then he like tries to undress her. She like slaps him. He says something like she has one complex mechanism, which is kind of funny. But then I think he just goes to bed because it cuts to back at to like where Hilarious is with the apprentice.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
like,
so he discovers
like what is the doll still doing here?
Yeah.
I just love
this is like the apprentice is like
he's like,
Master, hear the confession of a broken man.
My favorite quote in the whole movie.
Master,
you're the confession of a broken man.
And this is where they have like the hair raising shot. Like,
does he try to drink the paint too? Well, no. Does he walk in while he's drinking the paint again?
While he's drinking. No. He drinks it after.
Oh, drinks it after.
No, but this is like where they have that long. They have this long. This is like my favorite scene in the movie. This is a better chase scene, you know. Hilarious is chasing the apprentice and stuff. And when he's like, there's just like this long ass shot of him like breaking all the plates, like in anger. Like he throws so many plates on the ground.
Honestly, yeah,
it's crazy. And then he's like, I can't help it. I'm throwing myself out the window, and he's like, the window's just like a single story. He like just falls.
Yeah. So I was like, look at these that one scene when he jumps out the window.
Oh,
one story.
No, but then, because then, he's like walking, he's like all depressed, and then he like sees like an apple just on like some guy's like house window or something. He like just takes it and starts eating it. Oh, I love that. It's like my favorite part of the movie. Honestly.
This is my.
Because it's like so random. Like it doesn't even have to be there at all. Because he's like walking all depressed. It's like, oh, what use is this horrible life? And then he like sees that apple and he takes it and he starts eating it.
He's fine.
Yeah. Oh damn!
I feel like Lubitsch has those moments.
He definitely does. No, but then there's like a wedding scene. There's like this is where you get like another like kind of you could read it. It's like honestly reads better if she's like a real woman.
This one reads a
Where
lot
she's
better
like-
if she's a real woman.
Yeah, she's like dancing with all the other guys.
Oh, wait.
It's just the societal pressure of a woman of high class to be the way she is. Like that's how like people expect a woman like that to act, and then she's like, whenever her husband's not looking, she's actually having fun. So
Yeah.
No, I love
And
when
that's a lot
I love when
too.
she's
I
like
like that a
dancing,
lot.
like how like all the dolls dance, like that one like.
yes,
And then
the one-
everyone's copying her. It's so funny.
that
Yeah.
scene's even better though. Later in the app, you get that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Someone says your bride just came unwound. You'll have to wind her up again.
Oh my god.
There's even like a little moment. I can't tell if like she was told to like almost laugh or she actually just like did it and they kept it in the movie, where like she slaps him and she like almost like laughs like as a human.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. But then we go to the fourth act where apparently like Clarice like sleepwalks and like from distress.
Yeah.
There's kind of some. This is what I'm saying. There's kind of like some random stuff.
Yeah.
There's like the. It like this is what there's like that. This is a random moment where I only noticed it the second time where there's like the cat that meows when there's like this random couple kissing on the street. Do you remember that?
I have no.
No, I don't remember that.
I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. But I was like, I don't know why this is here. But then he brings her to the Abbey. Like that's why there's like this random moment where he's like a sleepwalker. Like he basically just tells us that, and then there's like
Okay.
these people kissing the street. But then it cuts to the doll in the Abbey and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just there for the narrative because later on, I think it becomes important.
Later on, that's how he finds them. I'm pretty sure he sleepwalks onto them on the
very
bench,
end. At the very
right?
end.
Isn't that how he makes it there? He
I
sleepwalks.
don't remember. Yeah, that's why it's kind of the ending's kind of random too. Like, yeah, we'll get to that.
These Abbey scenes are hilarious though, because this is also
Oh,
a
when
lot of
she's
great
dancing and
subtext.
stuff,
Well, this is
yeah.
just a lot of great subtext too, with the priest obviously wanting to fuck a doll. Like
Oh, yeah.
they obviously want to, and it's very uncomfortable. But she's just having fun with it, which makes it like way more like fun to watch because she does just start doing the dancing shit, and it's just
Yeah.
so fucking funny, man.
Like watching,
Just watching
the
all
priest
these
try
priests.
to, and then
Yeah.
like the head priest comes in, yells at them, tells them to leave, and then like he starts dancing.
Yeah.
And he actually does the whole hopping bit too. Like,
Yeah.
oh god, it's so good.
Yeah.
No, especially with the head priest, where they get close ups of him actually like staring at her legs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, yeah, it's weird. Like they could probably this is ways to get around probably the censors and stuff because they could be like, oh, it's a doll, you know, it's not a real person.
Well, I don't think really the censors existed.
Well, that's true. No, like censors just in terms of like, you still couldn't show like you still have to get around just you still use sexual innuendo, you know.
And it was
Like,
Germany, I guess. I don't know what.
I don't
the
know.
rules
You
were
are
then.
right. Like there wasn't like I guess the code. Like
The Hays
that
Code
came
didn't
later,
exist.
Yeah. But just in
It was
general,
for a while.
1919, like
Yeah.
no, but yeah, no.
It wasn't as strict.
Oh, this is post-war Germany, which is interesting. There's maybe some.
It is.
There's probably some historical context there that we're missing, because this is post. It's like
literally
Depression
a year after,
Germany. When they were like in the gutter.
But then since they actually know she's a doll, they put her just like in like some random room. And then there's like a random scene where the apprentice is like outside, and he's like he almost wants to kill Hilarious, who's like sleepwalking on the roof. And he's like, oh, I shouldn't do it. He has a family, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be a good person.
I forgot about that line. I forgot about that line.
Like, damn.
It's like I shouldn't do it.
It seems like you're just trying to get him in the movie somehow, you know, a little more.
Yeah.
But then Lancelot has a dream. This one I'm kind of confused what's going on.
Well, this
Like,
is the girl. Whenever they were putting the girl into the room, she actually kicked the priest in there and locked it, and then she went into the other room where Lancelot is actually staying. And then so whenever he actually like arrives in the room, she's just there.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, that's very nice of the brothers
Okay.
to put her in the room for me." And then it like leads to that whole like coat rack thing, like where he's like doing the whole like trying to use her as like a coat rack. Like he puts his hat on her and then puts coat on her, and she keeps on putting shit back. And then the dream sequence happens, which is really cool.
And then like basically it's revealed that like he finds out that she's a girl from the dream.
I
there
think.
something
Well,
that happens?
no, I think.
Did she reveal something after?
Well, in the dream, he's like, I think he says her name, And then she's just like, she's still awake over there, so she just comes over and like lays down and kisses him. But I think that's what happens.
But either way, he finds out she's a real girl, and they basically end up. They basically have like a real wedding night that night, I guess. Because like then like we could cut to it as like a rooster crowing the next morning. They run away from the abbey. This is where like the doll maker like uses some like balloons to like fly after them. I'm like, it's like a lot of this feels very Russian, man. Yeah. But then he drops down to where they are, and he's like mad at first, but they're like, "No, we're legally married, so it's okay," and he's like happy. Then his hair turns to normal.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
That's how
I really like that ending. It's kind of
it's kind of just like.
Although maybe I don't know. Maybe you could read it cynically.
That's true.
Like something about him not loving a girl until a doll shows up or something. I don't know. Like, but I tend to think it's more.
Are you talking about Lance?
It's not a big deal. Yeah. Like it still keeps like all the themes of the movie. I guess.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I really
just,
I like it.
Kind of a rush narrative ending to me.
It is. It's just got a basic ending of a very basic for its time ending of the dad wants his daughter to be married, and so everything's happy and good. So
it's not that bad.
It's not bad. Three Bad Men has a similar ending to it. I'm just saying it's a very common ending for silent movies because that's what they were trying to promote at the time.
Okay, Three Bad Men's ending is way better.
Oh yeah. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm just saying it also has a happy ending. Like that,
I think
it doesn't though. It's kind of bittersweet. The ending.
I thought the ending was really good.
I love the ending, but yeah,
it's not purely happy like this one is, where there's like there's a happy ending.
That's not bad though. What's wrong with purely happy?
It just feels rushed, especially as the whole movie is kind of cynical. You know, it's like no one's getting married for the real reasons and stuff. We were just saying how this guy might actually be gay and like doesn't want to get married at all, and now it's like he's just happy being married.
Yeah, maybe there's some optimism. You know, Danny.
Is that optimistic?
Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say.
You just need to be in a room with a real woman. You know. Yeah. There are some. Yeah, definitely some.
Like that's less of a movie. But no, it's still overall a great movie. Just a fun little watch. It's only like what
60 minutes.
60 minutes.
This is probably one of his first movies too.
It's kind of long, 60 though. I'll be honest, but.
They definitely don't like it on a rewatch.
No, I liked it. Still.
It's definitely funny. I like it.
Like
a lot.
Lubitsch gets better for sure. Like he becomes.
He
becomes master, but there's still some.
Is this like one of his first movies though? Like, is this like? I'm curious because it has to be right.
1919. That's early.
Like sort by release date earliest first.
I'm trying.
You were like staring at them.
It wasn't clicking. Trip on the Ice.
Oh, a lot of them are probably lost actually. Yeah, a lot of those are definitely lost. This might be his first like major one though.
They might not be lost. They might just be in Germany still, just in like a museum.
Yeah.
Or like the government has them. Like,
I mean, Germany did have like a fascism problem, which wouldn't surprise me if they like I don't know, banned them or burned them
or burned them. Yeah.
Like just a little bit of an issue there, a little later on. But
he has one called The Oyster Princess also this year that looks pretty good.
Okay.
This poster.
I like that poster. I like that poster. Yeah, because I feel like I'm mostly familiar with Lubitsch from his like American period, which I guess most people are.
Yeah.
But his German period does look really interesting, from what I've seen so far. Which I think is literally just the doll in the mirror circle. So.
Yeah, that's the doll.
Oh wait, is the Smiling Lieutenant German? A German film? That's American, right?
I'm pretty sure it's American.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're speaking American.
They're speaking American.
Yeah, wow.
They're speaking English.
You call what that guy speaks
Miriam
American?
Hopkins.
No, I'm just kidding.
Miriam Hopkins, come on. But yeah, we will be back to review John Ford's Three Bad Men.
Take one.
Take one. There's more than one take, Roy. Shoot.
Mr. Ford, you made a picture called Three Bad Men, which was a large-scale Western. You had a quite elaborate land rush in it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you shoot that?
With a camera.
And we are back from the break with my pick for Silent Movie Night, John Ford's Three Bad Men. Directed what, 1926, I think.
Something like that.
Honestly, this is probably
Yes.
the earliest Western I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen an earlier one.
Does
than
Great
this.
Train Robbery count as a Western?
Actually, yeah, it probably does. It probably does.
That's probably the other earliest I've seen.
Yeah, that's the earliest I've seen them too.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
Have you not seen Great Train
I'm
Robbery?
surprised
You call yourself a cinephile? You haven't seen it?
Wait, how long is this one? 12
It's like
minutes?
literally
10
not
minutes,
long at
yeah,
all.
It's like 10 minutes.
I gotta get this. Damn, you guys are patting your stats.
Watch it during the episode, like really quickly. Like, quick review,
I got it as
guys.
a log.
Did Edwin Porter do the Great Train Robbery?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've
Something
seen
like
a few
that.
of Edwin Porter's. That's definitely stat patter for sure. I like it.
Okay.
Got some good ones, but no, Three Bad Men.
Electrocuted an elephant?
Dude, that one's sad as fuck.
Holy
it's so
shit.
sad. It's like Thomas Edison basically paid for that one, and they literally electrocuted an elephant on camera
What the fuck?
and killed it.
Wait, you watched this?
Yeah.
You didn't
You
log,
log
it?
it.
Oh no, I don't.
Go, Blake, log it, bro.
Why would I log
Man,
it?
this
It's
guy
so
didn't-
Get
sad.
your stats up, bro.
You watched it?
It's so sad.
The dream of a rare bit fiend.
Damn, that's kind
You're
of
just going
fire.
through
That
Edwin
poster's
Porter's.
kind of fire. Oh, wait, hold
Scary as
on.
fuck. Holy shit.
Damn.
Yeah, I gotta go through
No,
some
Edwin
reviews.
Porter's got some really good.
The teddy bears.
The Teddy Bears is a good one. Have you not seen that? I thought we
No.
watched that here.
I haven't seen this.
Damn.
We might have to watch this after.
We did.
Damn, yeah.
It's a good one.
Damn. Found a new filmmaker to watch.
There you go. But John Ford's Three Bad Men. Let's get back to that.
Okay, one more thing. He has an
oh,
Alice in Wonderland. That's amazing.
How long is it?
10 minutes, but no one's logged it. Or one person's logged it.
Damn.
I wonder if you can find it online.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, we should go back.
Yeah, we can go back to Three Bad Men. But
So this was an early Western, though.
Oh yeah, definitely an early Western. I mean, like I said, one of the earliest I've seen. I'm not huge on Westerns and silent movies, so I don't know if there's... Actually, this is not the earliest Western.
Most of my
I've
Western
seen.
knowledge is talkies. So.
I take this back. This is not the earliest Western I've seen. I have definitely seen more Westerns from comedies, because Buster Keaton and Roscoe Arbuckle both have Westerns that came out earlier than this, I'm pretty sure. But they're comedies, obviously. But they were spoofing Westerns at the time, too, so there are definitely older ones. But this is the oldest one I've seen. True Western. But I really love it, honestly, and I liked it even more on a rewatch. It's just really endearing. I just love the story. I don't know. I just love these three bad men so much. And I just love their dynamic together. But before we actually get into anything, let me ask you guys your opinions, because you guys haven't seen this before, and you are the Ford fans of the group, so...
Yeah, I'm a big Ford fan, especially, like... I'm mainly seen his, like, obviously, like, his more popular stuff, like, in the talkie era, like, especially, like, 50s, 60s, and some 40s as well. I'd say my favorites are definitely, like, Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Young Mr. Lincoln, Fort Apache, Searchers, like, just, you know, the general ones, but, like... Yeah, this is the earliest one. I think this is the first of his silence I've seen, which he made a lot of silence. He made a lot of movies in general, but especially silence. And yeah, I really like this one. I think the main thing I have to say on like this and Ford in general, and why like one of my favorite things about him is just like how he mixes comedy and drama. I think he does it like extremely well, because I almost sort of think he thinks they're just like connected in general in life and in cinema. And this one especially, like there's a lot of like great like comedic scenes, but he still like can really get you invested in like the emotional core of the movie, which is definitely movie has a lot of that. But also he's just like amazing at shooting a landscape and just like horses. So yeah, it has a lot. I do like it. Probably not as much as you, mainly on first watch, but it has still a lot of the stuff I love about Ford in it. I'll definitely need to rewatch it for sure. But yeah, I really like it.
Honestly, like, my favorite parts about this movie is, like, definitely some of the shots of the horses and just, like, the caravans and these, like, huge wide shots and...
Yeah, he's so good.
And
Just,
then
like,
that we just played the clip during the break, but, like, the huge,
land rush.
Yeah, the land rush at the
Land rush,
end.
yeah.
It's just, like, insane, but... Like, it's... honestly, both these movies kind of, like... have similar where I can still see like the Ford and Lubitsch in both of them a lot, and like that's my favorite parts of the movies. But like the stories themselves to me don't flow. Like to me, when I think of some of Ford's other movies later on, like every scene like feels essential. Like it feels like almost like brand new.
like
when you're watching the
Man
movie.
Shot Liberty Valance, basically.
But like even like How Green Is My Valley and like
Oh yeah, damn! I forgot about that's also
and
yeah.
you said I was a Ford fan. You've seen more Ford movies than I have. So
Yeah.
To be fair, okay,
the ones I
if we're
like-
talking diary logs though,
I don't talk
You
about him.
might have seen more than him because you've rewatched the
definitely.
ones you've seen.
Two twice. I've watched two twice. But,
Yeah, there's a okay. Yeah,
but this one is like, especially when you realize like the three guys are about to make a sacrifice, and you watch them in succession one over again, and you're like, okay, this is like taking forever.
Wow.
Wait, let's get. We
Wow.
get it. They're making a rogue sacrifice. Let's go. Let's keep it pushing. You know.
Oh my god.
Wow. The best part of the movie.
That's kind of insane. That's kind of insane.
The best part of the movie in this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Even in these scenes, that I'm like, okay, we get it. The narrative is like happening and stuff, but like the shots are amazing. Like one of the there's one where like I think it's the second guy. He like says goodbye through the one window. Closes that window, then goes to the other window, opens it, and you see this huge line of people like coming towards him, like through the window. It's like, damn, this is amazing.
Yes.
But no, Dan wants to move on past it. You know, let's get on.
Well, I mean, it's like we get what's happening because it does take a long time. Some of these, they're like saying goodbye and stuff, and like this girl's like, she's like so dumb.
You call
like,
yourself
what happened to them?
You call yourself a fucking John Woo fan? You're saying this? Damn.
Wait, what? Oh, the goodbyes. I mean,
the melodrama, the fucking heroic sacrifices. Oh my god.
Those are we talked about. This is some of the most annoying parts of this movie.
How dare you? Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't condone this. I can't agree. I can't condone this.
We're about to talk to Rossellini. We're about to talk about Rossellini.
The Bresson fan gets in his propaganda.
Okay. No, because Ford is usually not melodramatic.
He kind of is, though.
Like, no, but like, I don't know.
Although
I don't see him as melodramatic at all, especially like character melodrama. He might have like the theme like might be like sad, I guess, but I don't know. I don't see him as melodramatic.
Maybe it's good melodrama. I think it might just be like it's good melodrama.
No, there's no good melodrama. No, I'm kidding.
No, okay, no. That definitely.
It's a very hard genre for me to accept, but that's not. This movie's still not that melodramatic. Like
no.
Like everyone accepts, like there's not, everyone accepts kind of the fate, even at the ending, you know. And that's why I like.
It's
I
not
say I still like the
melodramatic
ending.
The only reason I said melodramatic is because it reminds me of like the John Woo goodbyes and stuff like that, like
the friends doing
it just like friends doing it for friends, you know, like and giving each other just like saying goodbye one last time. It's so it's sentimental. I think that's a better word.
Well, yeah, that's how a lot of people describe it.
Yeah,
which is
and
accurate.
I thought he could have emphasized. He does emphasize a little bit like the idea of like the three bad men are supposed to be these three guys, but they're actually like the good guys, and like the actual bad men are like the police,
the sheriffs,
the sheriff and
the classic like revisionist like.
Yeah,
it's proof that like the revisionist Western is kind of a myth because like Westerns in general are just revisionist and by nature,
well, for sure.
By nature, at least the ones I've seen. Obviously, like I still haven't like dug into like the fucking like.
Well, there are definitely westerns where it's just like the director you can tell just loves the old west, and so they don't ever show anything like really that bad. Like it's but like
even then you can read into it as revisionist.
But that is one of the best things about this. Is right from the get go. It's just like, nah, the sheriff's this fucking like pimp asshole that tries to kill people for gold. Like it's just I like it a lot. But yeah, we can go ahead and get in the movie. It opens with like the title card. Old world blood began to fuse with colonial strains, and then it just has like the Indians looking across at all the like colonists basically moving into their territory because this is just a huge
it's big Ford theme
yeah.
too. Damn, you guys haven't seen. God damn, I'm trying to reference movies and then you guys haven't seen them.
I mean, which one?
Fort Apache is like most directly dealing with that, and even then, it's kind of similar to what we were just saying, like about like how he paints like the sheriffs as like the bad guys, and he's kind of doing kind of similar thing in Fort Apache, but even then, it's like almost like it brings to mind the Straub, Jean-Marie Straub, the French filmmaker, the communist film, like and Daniel, who I don't remember how to pronounce her name, but. He has a famous quote that he says, "Ford is more Brecht than Brecht," and Fort Apache is very much. It's almost like a Brechtian kind of like, from what I understand, a Brechtian kind of take on that sort of idea of like the accoladed like the most important men you could say in like the West aren't truly as what they seem, you know. But it's just amazing movie.
You kind of get some of that in this already too.
Yeah, please, you guys need to watch Fort Apache. Oh my god.
Well, I do just need to get to Ford more than I have already. Because all the Fords I watched
has a great Henry Fonda performance.
Okay.
And John Wayne's in it. Yeah, it's John Wayne, Henry Fonda. So yeah.
One of the fun things about watching Three Bad Men is like is like trying to imagine John Wayne playing like the Bull character, and I honestly just can't really imagine it. Because I mean, I guess I can because he basically plays that in The Searchers actually. Like that type of character, this like bad man. He's actually worse in The Searchers.
Searchers, he's pretty fucking bad in The Searchers.
He's a bad guy in that, but yeah, we can just continue on. So basically, what's happening is there's a gold rush happening in the Dakotas right now, but they can't do anything about it because it's on the Sioux lands. And this is a big thing that happens later on in the movie. Obviously, is this gold miner, this gold guy that the guy that found all the gold and stuff like that gets murdered later. But basically, it's just trying to set up some of that stuff at this stuff before showing us just some of the best shots in this movie are what Luke already said, just shots of the landscape and the horses and
that
the
man
wagons.
can fucking this man can shoot a fucking landscape. Oh my god,
so good.
Especially when he gets into color too, it's honestly even more insane. Like I don't know if you remember much from The Searchers, but like there's so many shots in that it's like, oh my god.
I didn't ever watch
this
that.
Is beautiful.
Like 4 years. Actually, it's probably been 5 years since I've seen The Searchers.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
But I personally just love all these shots of the wagons and shit. And I think that we get before we even get an introduction to our 3 bad men, we get introduced to like the love interest essentially in this movie, which is Dan O'Malley, the Irish singer,
the singer,
basically the guy with the harmonica.
I love it because it says Dan O'Malley came in at a smile per minute.
Yeah,
and he shows him playing.
The inner titles too. I don't know if this is just like
their fabric or whatever.
I don't know if it's like just like specific to the version I watched, but y'all's inner titles had like the music notes on it, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if that was like a thing that I was actually like what Ford intended, but I really liked it. Yeah, because like the music of the version I was watching, the score obviously I don't think it's like the actual score for the movie, of course, as we were saying, but like it was like it got like really chummy in those moments.
Was it like a fiddle?
Something like that.
Because mine was just the one that I watched it's on YouTube. It's just the one that it's HD, and I think it's like Knoll Films. I can't remember.
I
which
probably
one
watched it the same as you.
But that score that they had for this movie is amazing.
It's,
it's a great score.
Definitely.
But yeah, it sets the tone for this like scene perfectly with him just riding in, and like we see like this wagon wheels falling off, and Dan's just such a nice guy that he goes and stops, and then he sees the love interest of this movie. Beautiful woman, fucking Olive. I think her name's Lee in the movie, but her name is Olive. I can't remember what her last name is, but
the actor,
Olive Borden.
Yeah, Olive Borden, and she's fantastic in this movie. I think like plays this like really innocent seductress really well, honestly, and I love it a lot. And she also she has a great face for the camera, honestly. Like she's a beautiful woman, but it's got like it's just a great little scene of him helping the dad basically fix the wagon, and then they're behind the wagon for a while, like basically like having a romantic moment. Yeah. And I love whenever the dad like looks under the wheel and you just see her like raise her leg whenever and then like it cuts back and they're like about to kiss, but then they don't. But then we get our introduction to our 3 bad men through wanted posters. A lot of them, lot of wanted posters. I don't really remember what all of them are, but it's basically just like 2,000 for like robbery, horse stealing, shit like that, just a bunch of stuff. And we get introduced to them, which is going to be coming back later on in the movie also, but riding onto a hilltop together.
Yes,
that's basically riding to
it
comes back at the end. Yeah, great shot. But
it's also
because the ending shot also has that scene, like after they've died, but like because that ending shot reminds me of How Green Is My Valley.
Okay, I was gonna say it reminds me of a Kurosawa shot because we should also.
Okay, yeah.
This movie definitely influenced Kurosawa.
For sure.
To the point where I'm pretty sure he named Hidden Fortress. Yeah. His title in Japanese, if you translate directly, is 3 Bad Men in a Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, no, that's really? Definitely that's it definitely
like that shot. I feel like I've seen like Seven Samurai, like them too. There's probably a similar shot.
It's the shot at the very end of Seven Samurai is the graves on the hilltop, and the camera's in a very similar
to that. Yeah.
It's not the exact same, obviously, but it's a similar motif.
But obviously,
that he's using.
Ford's a huge influence on.
Oh yes. But I love the actual like introduction to these characters because something that we haven't mentioned yet. We've mentioned the title cards a little bit and how good they've been, but these title cards in this movie are amazing. They are so fucking funny. I just find the title cards hilarious because their introduction in this is Bull Stanley, who live day by day on pluck powder in Providence. And then it just cuts to his face just standing there looking at the wagons. And then it shows the other two, or then it like gets to another title card, and it goes, Mike Costigan and Spade Allen weren't exactly thieves, but they had a habit of finding horses that nobody had lost. And then it cuts to them also. Then it cuts to them in the shot. Oh, I fucking love it so much. But they're just watching the caravan obviously go by.
Yeah.
And they're essentially, I think they asked someone on the way, like down there, like where they're going. They say, "Oh, haven't you heard? We found Golden Dakota." And so they're going to Dakota. They're all going to Dakota. And so like Bull says, "We're going to the Dakotas. He might be there." And you don't know really who he's talking about yet, obviously. But the next thing he says is, "It ain't gold I'm looking for, but it's a man just as yeller." This is what I'm saying. Like these air titles are so good, but then we get like their arrival into the actual town of, I think it's Custer, is the town that it is. And we have our introduction to Sheriff Hunter, who is literally introduced as basically just a pimp. And because it's like really sad because we don't know who this girl is. Like if it's your first watch, you don't know who this girl is. Really, like all you know is it's basically just like a girl that he tricked into coming with him, and now he's gonna send her off to be like a prostitute.
Basically, like wanting dirty money, basically dirty money.
Well, he promised to marry her, which we later figure out via we later figure out that she's obviously the sister of Bull, and this is the guy that Bull's after this entire time, the Sheriff Hunter or whatever. But it's just a really sad moment, a really real moment of things that happen in the Old West where these girls wanted adventure. They just wanted to get out of the house, basically, and wanted to get out of their father's like overbearing protection, essentially. And so they would go off with people promising to marry them, and then like be forced into prostitution, essentially, because you have to live still. But it's just really sad to think about. But it's not something you would usually see in a movie. I feel like from this time
honestly,
either,
this is like what you're saying already. Like the Western was already like deconstructing themselves, like especially with Ford and stuff, because like. Yeah, just showing stuff like this is happening with the sheriff alone. You know? Yeah, that already is mythologizing like this idea of a Western showing the sheriff as the good guy protecting.
Which
the town.
I mean, I think you might have mentioned it at one point. Did you say something about like how Westerns like in a sense are just recreating a memory or whatever? You mentioned something about that. I think you're simply talking about like how they're really good films about memory, like exploring memory through Westerns are very easy because they are strictly just like basically it's just recreating a memory in a way. I think that's part of the reason why it's very deconstructed by nature, because it's literally by making a Western you are reflecting on the past.
Yes, but that's why I don't know if it's deconstructive by nature. I'm saying Ford is. But other Westerns, they can mythologize the past. Like that's what like saying like a typical Western, you might not see the sheriff be the one that is doing this. It's just the bad guy that's doing this.
Even that, I still.
Or even if I guess I don't know. Like I guess you could see the sheriff as the bad guy too in a lot of cases, and like
there's a lot
the
of,
outlaw is actually the good guy, and that
are a lot of those
that
too.
also is like mythologizing the American way,
mythologizing in general. It's
Well, that's why Westerns are so cool to me, is because like the West it's not that long ago that it happened, but it's like already thought of as like legend essentially and myth. Like it's a land of legend and myth that happened literally 150 years ago. But.
Yeah, it's like it's obviously like. It's literally just like how samurais are in Japan, which obviously there's a connection between. It's interesting that like.
Well, every country has their myth.
Yeah.
But like Blake said, America's kind of new. Like.
Yeah. But it's also interesting that like, in that fact that Westerns inspired samurai films too, and then vice versa too. It's like. They're almost gaining some from the other, which I guess, it's an interesting connection.
Like. It is an interesting connection. No, Westerns are just interesting in general, which is why I don't understand why they're one of Danny's least favorites. But it's okay. We'll move on. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like Westerns, like low key, may be the best genre.
Oh,
they're amazing.
Sci-fi is way better than Western.
Oh no! Oh my god.
Sci-fi Western.
2001 alone is better than just like every Western ever.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm
sorry that makes me casual.
Yeah, normie, Kubrick fan,
It's just, oh my god, it's just insane.
Let me guess.
We moved on.
Let me guess.
Okay.
You just love. Let me just guess. Danny loves slow and pretentious movies.
Let me guess. You don't like technology. You still want to ride a horse everywhere.
Honestly,
you're into art. No, but the scene continues.
I need to go look at Blake's list. He probably has more sci-fi in his top 20 than westerns, if I had to guess.
I don't know.
Is it either in
Alien?
his top
Probably.
Blade Runner is probably in
Blade
there.
Runner is in my top. That's in my top 25, I think. I don't know if it's my top 20.
Although Blade Runner is kind of just like a noir. You could maybe argue it's more of a noir. Though.
It is more of a noir. It's both. It's
sci-fi,
both.
it's
It's
sci-fi.
both.
But I can't admit a lot of sci-fis have been inspired by the Western. Like, the Western inspired a lot of other genres.
I mean, obviously
It was
Star Wars.
obviously
Star Wars
like
is the
the-
main like sci-fi that's influenced by Western. I feel like.
Yeah. But
Which I'm sure. Okay, obviously George Lucas was influenced by. That's obviously influenced by Ford in general too.
Yes.
Yeah, Ford's insane. But yeah.
Yeah, something about this scene continues, just showing continually more how bad the sheriff is, essentially, because we have this scene of him with the pimp, and then we have, or of him like essentially being a pimp, and then we have the scene of him, like his men coming up to him and telling him about 15 like race horses are on the way with only 2 people guarding, and the sheriff's like, okay, go on, like basically go and get them. So you already see how the sheriff's running his town, how much of a bad man he is, essentially, but. Something, just like a quick note about this entire movie, is I just love, in silent movies in general, like the amount of extras you just see on the screen, because that's something we'll get to later on in this movie, obviously as well, but just seeing like a cavalcade of people just like coming through the street behind like our main character, or our characters that are watching is just so cool to watch every time, honestly, but yeah, next, what happens next is honestly, I love this next scene so much. It's our 3 bad men. It cuts directly from us hearing that discussion or like watching that discussion with the sheriff to the 3 bad men on the hilltop watching the horses.
Okay, yeah.
And then they're essentially getting ready to steal the horses because they like put their bandanas on everything, and then they just see the sheriff's men come and ride. Fucking Bolt brings down his handkerchief, and he just says, "Why the low down horse thieves?" And then they go and save them. They go and like save them in air quotes, but
they become like heroes by accident.
yes, heroes by accident, literally. But it's just like it flips it on its head because like these horse thieves have honor apparently because they're like decide to say, or they have honor for a little bit, but it's more like they're just trying to get the horses still until they see it's a girl, but. But this being my second time watching, like Bull's protection of Lee or whatever, Miss Lee, it makes more sense after you see like he's looking for his sister who ran off.
It is funny when you see he's the only one that like while he's trying to like get like
yes
try to comfort her and like has the idea like both of them are like going away with the horses. Like he has to stop them from like stealing it.
It's so good.
Even after they saved her, like it was so funny.
Oh yes, I love that scene. This entire scene is just so hilarious to me. I just love it so much.
Yeah.
But after all this, we cut back to the town. I honestly don't know if this guy comes back, but it's an amazing air title because it's just Zach Little, editor of the Custer Pathfinder, was half Scotch and half seltzer. Oh, yeah. And then it just shows him talking to this random ass guy and tells a joke, and I was just like, okay. Yeah. I don't know if he ever comes back in the movie. That's a great air title. So. But then we see like I think what happens next is the parson arrives in town. And we get kind of a quick introduction to basically religion arriving in this, like... It's like an old West... It's basically a gang town almost, except it's billed as like, oh, we have a sheriff and everything, but it's not really. It's like still basically just run by outlaws. But the parson arrives, and I think like the girl basically says, since there's a parson here, she runs off to the sheriff and says, "There's a parson here. We can get married now."
Yeah, that's a nice one.
And then like she sees like
his real self.
His real self, and he like his face is honestly great. Or the guy that plays him, I don't know who he is, but I love his face because he just looks so evil in this entire movie. Honestly, he kind of reminds me of a I can't remember his name. Who played Count Dooku?
Who's Count Dooku?
In Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
It's a very famous actor, Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee.
I don't remember who Count Dooku is.
This guy's name is Lou Tellegen.
Wait, is he the bad guy in that movie?
The bad guy in this.
Yeah.
Or no, in Revenge of the Sith, is Count Dooku the bad guy?
Mm-hmm. He is.
Like the guy who's like...
No, not Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, Attack of the Clones.
I don't fucking remember. Yeah, I don't fucking remember. I don't remember that movie at all.
You'll recognize him.
Oh yeah.
I can kind of see where you're going with that.
Oh, isn't that the guy from like Lord of the Rings?
We should say Lou Telgen's a great name though.
Lou Telgen's an amazing name. Great
Like,
face
this is-
too, but...
I haven't heard of any of his other movies.
We should name more people Lou.
I mean, yeah, a simple name, 3-letter name. We should have more 3-letter names in general.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go by Dan if you want to. So
Dan. Yeah, that's like so calling you Dan.
I mean, Danny's just 4, like it's not that much. But just one syllable, I guess. One syllable names. Luke. Blake.
true.
Just simple.
But you,
Danny.
but you have to say so many syllables for your name. Like it's crazy.
See, John Ford, just 2 syllables. You got 2 names in there. Efficient.
Yeah. Oh.
Just like him.
Dan's like Howard Hawks. You have to say so much.
Howard
tired
before the
Hawks.
5-second syllable. Okay, we should
No,
go.
basically the gang arrives in town now, and the sheriff moves in immediately on Olive or on Lee, and Bull's being protective, obviously, of her still, but it's a really interesting moment because like the sheriff reveals to her who she's with essentially, and because she didn't know before. And then after he's done revealing it, she just looks at him and then just says, "Come along, my 3 bad men. It's time we were making camp." And then they just leave and make camp. So it's just like she's choosing these guys over like this guy, obviously. But and then as they're walking out, I just have this quick note because it's a very funny like little moment where they're walking away and the 2 older guys, like Spade and Mike, grab a guy and say, "What are you looking at, Hoss face?" And then it just cuts to like this ridiculous looking face, and then I don't know. But then we just like have scenes of them making camp, and she offers them all a job. It's just kind of more like just sweet sentimental stuff between all 3 of them because they have, I don't know, it's just really sweet. But she offers them a job, and they all accept. And she says, "I can't really pay you," and Bull's like, "I won't take no money from you, but." And then she says, like before they go to bed, she says, "Then you'll be my man." So.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It's interesting. I like it, but
Yeah, like it's just funny.
it's a sweet moment when they all take their hats off for her too.
Yeah.
yes. But then we just have the next day we have more scenes of them at camp, and this is just to show their or at least what they think is their inadequacy for her. Because Bull is essentially just watching all of this entire time, and he goes into them and says, "We have to find her a husband, essentially, because we aren't the right men for her. Like, we can't... Like, she needs someone better than us." Another kind of classic Western thing is, like, guys like this trying to find someone better.
There's actually a quick moment first before this scene. It's, like, my favorite shot in the movie where we see Dan O'Malley in the foreground walking, and this, like, huge line of caravan in the background also walking, like, at the same time. And I think it's kind of hinting like he's going to be the husband, basically, you know, foreshadowing. Because then it cuts to the scene of he's like, we need to find our husband, yeah.
And this leads to just some...
Yeah, they go for the search.
Amazing stuff. Husband searching. Or husband hunting is what it's actually called. So Spade and Mike go out husband hunting. And this is where, like, the like... Well, their relationship in general kind of has this, like, a little bit of subtext, but... Whenever they're out husband hunting, they're just, like, looking at all these men. So it gets... It's another thing, like, in Westerns, they're obviously a lot bit racist to the Chinese sometimes. And this one also has a quick moment of that, but it's also just a little moment of... It's racist, yes, like what they call him, but it's also John Ford saying, like, this happened in the West. Like, them saying, like, a Chinese, like, we can't have her marry a Chinese because they get shot too easily. That's really dark, man. That's really dark.
What you said about that is why there's a lot of misconceptions about, like, Ford.
Yeah.
Being racist, like, because, like, I mean, you probably heard, like, people say, like, the Searchers is racist, which it's not, like, at all. Like, I could see maybe
John Wayne is racist in the movie, but
which I guess
John Wayne is racist in real life.
And usually John Wayne's, you know, the Ford stand-in, generally up until then. It does get, but really, like, Ford is actually just like saying, just like presenting what, like, literally, like what the West really was, and like what. And since, like, especially in the Searchers, like, John Wayne literally is, like, the character of, like, all the racism of the West and the cowboy. And essentially just kind of, like, Ford rejecting that. But yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about that.
There is. And I mean, it's definitely probably been happening since very early in the movies. Because, like, this moment, it definitely can be construed as racist, because they do call him a racist name, obviously. But
although there is some validity, because the Indians in the Searchers are played by white guys in like red face.
That was just like
I don't remember
that.
that,
was just like a studio.
But also, yeah, I'm pretty sure I
Still,
might have read
yeah.
somewhere
It
that
doesn't mean it wasn't
he really,
racist.
he literally couldn't.
Well, because I'm pretty sure the Indians in this movie are played by actual Indians, so
Yeah.
because there are a few Indians.
No, I
in this movie.
think Fort
Or Native
Apache, the
Americans.
Indians were played by regular. Actually, I don't remember. But it's a sticky situation.
It is. But this husband hunting continues essentially with them not being able to find the right guy, and then this essentially a little tramp walks in. No, I'm just kidding. Not a little tramp. It's this like little rich guy.
Charlie Chaplin runs out of the street now.
No, a little rich guy and like this bowler looks completely out of place in this town in general. Walks in and they basically go for it, start sizing him up, and he's like, it's some great physical comedy between just all three of them because the guy is just really funny too. Like he's just really skittish and just really funny. But the best part happens whenever they take him off alone. Like they set down their guns on the table. They're both pointing at him. And then they literally say to him, they say, if a man's heart is in the right place, it don't matter what sex he belongs to.
Okay, yeah.
But then after this, it just leads to kind of more interesting shots of them basically mimicking a lot of different people. Like, originally they start mimicking the guy dancing with the girl or with the prostitute that comes and saves him, essentially, because he's like, oh, yes, please take me away from these men.
Yeah.
But then they start mimicking them on the dance floor. And it's a really, it's a really nice tracking shot that John Ford does during this, because it's like it's just following them like to the door and then following them back behind the bar as they like start mimicking this old fat guy walk in. Like they start mimicking his walk as he walks to the bar, and the camera's just tracking them the entire way. It's really nice. It's a really good shot. I like it a lot, but this whole scene is essentially just to show the bar fight that happens next, which Dan O'Malley walks in. Yeah. There's a girl that will come back later. She's one of the prostitutes, I think, but she basically just wants him to come up there. And as she's doing that, another girl like runs up the stairs away from a man, and the man tries to run up after her, and Dan stops him, and then it just starts this whole like bar brawl that Bull ends up helping Dan out with, and it establishes their relationship in this moment. So, and then after they establish this relationship, he takes them back to their camp and essentially tells the other two, he's like, "I found the man."
Yes.
And then
the only way the three bad men could find a man is in a bar fight.
It's
the only way it could happen.
It's so good. But then like what happens next? They introduce Dan to Olive, and they recognize each other obviously, and
it's a movie, so they've already fallen in love.
I've fallen in love with her too. I'm not gonna lie at this moment. So
yeah, that's a normal thing.
They got one scene before, so we know like they've already met.
It is kind of sexy though, honestly, like the scene.
Yeah.
She winks at him.
When she winks at him. I mean,
Dan's reaction was hilarious.
I'm like, that's not the first word that was coming to my mind. No, because to me, what's best about the scene is when like the two older guys are like, I hope you don't drink. We don't want no soaps around here. Like kind of saying like, now that they're like almost like fathers, like you know, because there's like an earlier scene where they can't stop drinking and stuff.
Well, there's an earlier scene where where Bull's beating them up because they were drunk.
So now they're thinking about like her future life.
There's a lot of great just moments in this scene because like I like it even before that. Whenever the two older guys are like sizing him up, essentially like one was like, "Oh yeah, he'll do," or he's like not bad, and then the other one says not very good. Oh yeah, and then Olive says he'll do. Yeah. But yeah, I do love I love that what you said too. Like we hope he doesn't drink because we don't need no soaks around here. Because Bull's face after they say that, he just gives them both a look. It's just so funny. And then the last line that Bull says before the scene essentially ends is like, let's let nature take his course. Yeah. And nature takes his course very fast because they get to the very end of the scene. But after this, we cut back to the town. And we're with the parson, basically, informing the sheriff that the more upstanding citizens of the town are accusing him of basically all the bad shit he's been doing this entire movie. So, nothing really much comes of this, obviously. But, I mean, what comes of it, what we'll see later is very tragic at most. But then we get the title card, cleanliness is next to godliness. That's why Saturday night comes before Sunday. And then it's just the scene of them drawing a bath for her and then saying, I hope you don't make us take a bath.
No, because that reminded me of the... I think we talked about the old man. Yeah, I ain't taking no bath. It's like, that's definitely some Western thing where, like, you're a real man if you don't take a bath.
Yeah, don't take a bath.
And a woman would make you take a bath.
You're all dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your true manhood is, like, not taking a bath.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's hilarious.
Because we talked about some other Western, too. I don't remember. It was something about the bath. Because I know that it's in McCabe, Mr. Miller, for sure.
Yes, for sure.
I think that's... what other Westerns have we talked other than Rio Bravo?
But there's something else where
there was something else. I do remember talking about the bath thing again also, but I don't remember what it was.
McCabe, Mr. Miller?
No, it wasn't in
But there was a different movie, too, that had the same kind of thing.
About a bath.
Yeah,
in a Western.
like a guy not wanting to take a bath. I don't think it might not have been a Western, but... Okay, it might come to me.
Oh, it was John Cassavetes in Love Streams, I'm pretty sure. Or was it Love Streams? I know it was John Cassavetes in one of his movies, I'm pretty sure. Where it was him not wanting to take a bath. I don't know.
Like basically not taking a bath.
Maybe it was like I think it was a Cassavetes film, but I don't remember.
Okay, because in my notes I have it where in Popeye he says I ain't eating no spinach.
Okay.
It reminded me of that, but I feel like I referenced this bad thing too in something else, but I don't remember.
No, it is a John Cassavetes movie because there's definitely a scene in like Husbands or something. There's a scene where he's basically like I actually do think it's Husbands now I'm thinking about it because I'm pretty sure John Cassavetes is complaining about his wife making him take a shower. Do you recall? I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure.
You're gonna make me think about this now.
Luke's like, my mind is off the podcast.
Either way, this kind of theme I feel like is probably common in this kind of idea anyway.
Yeah.
Of a guy feeling like he's losing his freedom when a woman like makes him take a bath.
Yeah. I'm smelling.
Stink. No.
But then it's like that's when Dan O'Malley gets tricked. Like this is like come on,
it's just a bunch of misunderstandings.
Yeah,
So.
come on, pay attention just a little bit better. When he's like,
it's really great because I love it because he just starts playing the harmonica, and I don't know why he thinks that's her because like she does get out fast of the bathtub whenever he starts playing. It just goes to show that if you play music, women will love you apparently. But she does get out of the bath really fast, but yeah, not that fast, not fast enough to like get there like literally 5 seconds after you start playing for you to lay back on her. But yeah, so that's basically what just happened in this scene. Is just a bunch of misunderstandings leading to conflict between the two love interests. But what happens next is more of the plot moving forward. I would say because it's the sheriff's men murdering the guy that found the gold earlier in the movie. They're still trying to get him to tell them where it is, but the henchman that is sent is very dumb. And that doesn't change throughout this entire movie, honestly. He's a very dumb henchman, but he accidentally killed him. But not before the guy is able to tell Bull and the doctor, or the Bull and like the parson and everything, like who did it, and like he has a treasure map and everything in his pocket and shit like that he gives him. But after this is when the movie kind of turns into more of like a revolt against the system because the sheriff is about to get run out of town. But before that, he causes some major fucking havoc by literally setting the church on fire. Yeah. And there are some amazing shots in this scene, dude. He's going off. Like the wagons roll. First off, just the wagon, like lighting a wagon on fire and rolling it down a hill and just watching it like roll into a church is really cinematic and fun to watch. But then just like everything that happens after that with the people running, like the parson running out of the church especially. And standing in front of the burning cross. It's just such a great shot, man. Like, and then like you get the shot obviously of like Bull's sister coming in and saving him from the bull, and then just like him kneeling in front of the cross with her in his arms. It's just like, but like at that moment, obviously, like the sheriff's men and everyone are starting to run away because Bull and his men are all like coming to save the church. There are just some great moments in the scene, obviously, too, where it's just Bull finding out that his sister is there and she dies in his arms and everything. It's just kind of sweet, or not dies in his arms, but he's like carrying her and everything. But I do want to say there are just some like really funny scenes whenever they go and like start saving the people because like they're saving them, but then they just grab the baby and just toss it out the window. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they literally just toss that baby out the window. There was no one there on the other end, but no.
No, yeah, they were there. They were there.
They were there through the smoke. But there's just I think there's more stuff that happens in this where like Bull's like chasing the sheriff around, but I didn't really care about that too much because like what happens next is like really great, where it's just like Bull walking out with his dead sister in his arms, like out of the church. Yeah. Just to like that procession, and everyone's just like walking with him, and then it cuts to the next morning at the gravesite. I think it says it actually has like a title card like the wagons move out in the morning or whatever or something like that, and then it's just them standing on the gravesite with all the wagons behind them moving out. It's just such a great shot.
No, the shot before when he's like carrying her on the stairs, and he like stops halfway, and there's like 2 torches from the guys like below the stairs holding it, like framing her. It's like insane. It's like
he's going off, man.
Yeah, Ford is like this is like. That's what I was saying. There's like this just amazing Ford moments of just like when you're actually watching the movie of like he films the chaos so like still perfectly and stuff.
And also Ford's really good at like filming funerals and like graveyards. Like cause obviously I think Ford's
the funeral. Yeah.
I specifically think of like he has one in Man Shot Liberty. That's more of a memorial. Actually, it is kind of a funeral in a way. Man Shot Liberty Valance. Young Mr. Lincoln has an amazing one. I think Fort Apache had a good one too. He's quite a bit of it.
But then there's like contrast of like right after this funeral is like the race, this huge race for the land for gold. You know, like just like right away, just like the exact opposite. You know?
The land race.
The elaborate land rush.
Yeah.
The land rush.
They have to wait till 12.
How'd he shoot it?
With a cameraman.
That's crazy. I mean,
some of these shots setting up the kind of rush too of like all these wide shots of all these people waiting and stuff, and like he has like one amazing shot of like there's a camera inside the wagon, filming this huge line from outside. It's like, oh my god.
I love just like when they're like actually rushing, you see like the dust kicking up.
Yes,
it's like so good.
No, then like this actual sequence is amazing.
It's just an impeccable like 5-10 minutes. It's probably like 5 minutes.
It's around.
I'm trying to think if he's even gone this like. I'm trying to think of a comparable moment of the Ford I've seen where he's gone this high scale too. Because I feel like he doesn't go this like.
The Stagecoach went high scale, didn't it?
I don't remember.
Not as big as this though.
Yeah, this one's like maybe Fort Apache, even though it's like kind of intimate. Like there's like land rushes kind of in Fort Apache, but it's kind of more intimate, I feel like, but I might be misremembering it. But yeah, this is definitely like, even when I'm like thinking about the Ford films I've seen, like this is like high scale for even those, like very high scale. Maybe his like highest, but yeah.
There's like a moment in this where like a guy's on a unicycle. You guys remember that?
Yes, I do.
I was like, damn, that's like.
Dude, there are some crazy shots in this with like people just like
the baby.
It has to. Oh, the baby's crazy
on the ground, awesome. And they barely pick it up, like on the horses. While
I'm just talking about all the wagon wheels falling off because that's just shit that probably just happened whenever they were shooting. I would assume. Yeah. Like they weren't planning on the wagon wheel to fall off. I would assume, or were they? I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they did plan that was like part of it, but. Some of these falls that people were taking look like they legitimately hurt. So
it's crazy. Like honestly, it gave me like Black Friday vibes. You know, where you hear like stampedes happening. I guess it doesn't happen anymore as much, but like everyone just rushing for gold. Like
no, everyone's rushing on Amazon,
especially with the baby too. Like you're like no one cares about the baby on the ground.
Yes. I do love because there's like the guy that gets it. Like he brings it to like I think he's like probably the mayor or whatever. I'm assuming. Because he's like the big important man or something. This is that fat guy, but he basically says like a little Moses lost in the land rush, lost in the gold rush or whatever, and they just hands him to him. But there was a quick little moment before where the parson was basically saying, because this is obviously something with just American history, where people went on these gold rushes, but that's not where the gold was. Obviously, the gold was from the ground. Like the parson was telling them like you don't want to leave your plows here just to go the gold faster because the real gold's going to be from the earth and
the harvest.
Yeah, the harvest, and that's obviously like that's literally what happened in America. But next, what happens is essentially the end of the movie's happening. Hunter sights his prey, and the 3 bad men, or they all see them, but they stop at a pass, and the 3 of them send Dan and Lee away, like to keep on going ahead, and they'll stay here and guard the pass essentially. And there are just some amazing moments. This is why I can't understand why Danny's saying
Danny
this,
hates all
because
of it, you know.
there's just some great moments because Mike's just standing here going like, he says, one good man can hold this pass against a thousand hunters, and then Spade takes his gun and says, "I'll stay," and then Mike says, "I said a good man," and then I think Spade says, "Your pants may be shabby, but your heart is warm, but they have a warm heart," and it's just like so sweet. Yeah. But they end up playing like all three of them play a game of cards, which obviously Spade wins because he's like obviously he's a card cheat, but it's just really sweet to me whenever Mike's just standing there. He says, "Goodbye, Spade. It's been a long trail," and then Spade says, "Goodbye, Mike. You've been a good partner."
I do enjoy this moment of this first goodbye.
How dare you? Well, because they're connected more so to each other than to Bull. So Bull's definitely the leader of the group, and they seem more to be the pair. Like they're more so the friends of the group, But yeah, so we get Mike's sacrifice or Spade's sacrifice after this moment, and I mean he holds out. He kills like probably 5 people, I'd assume. I don't know. He does pretty well.
Yeah, he's going on.
He does pretty well. Goes off. Does get shot by the fucking other guy, which kind of sucks. The dumb guy that we'll see get blown up in a little bit. But after Spade dies, we cut back up further up the mountain with the rest of our group, and this time they're stopped at a powder supply depot, and this is where Mike sends Bull and the rest of them on, and says, "I'll defend it. I'll keep him here and buy you guys more time." Essentially, or actually, I think he says he's waiting for Spade because he's still just hoping he's alive. Essentially, he knows he's dead, but I don't remember exactly. This is definitely the least of the goodbyes that I like the most because I really do love Bull's goodbye later that we'll get to, but so. I think he just says like "goodbye, your son of a gun" or something.
Do you remember the riddle?
No. We haven't gotten there yet. But then we get the great shot that you were talking about earlier, where it's Mike waving by through one window, and then he walks across the room to the other window, and he opens it, and he sees the hunter and his men riding up.
Yes.
And then it's just obviously his last stand. Now he just starts firing out there, and I do kind of love how John Ford shows it in this, or in this scene, how like. These little flimsy cardboard or like wood won't stop bullets because this little shack that he's in is getting like just bullets punched through everything, like just giant ass holes just getting blown through everything. But he ends up just sitting down on the powder keg, lighting his pipe, and whenever everyone walks in, he says, "Hold everything, gentlemen. I want to ask you one last riddle." Or he basically asks, like, "Can I ask you one last riddle?" And then he says, "Where was Moses when the lights went out?" Don't know. He just blows up the depot after that.
I still don't get exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know either, but it's just, I don't know. I love it though. It's a great little moment.
Yes.
But then obviously we continue on. He was able to stop the vast majority of them with that explosion, but Hunter and the rest, I think like probably 6 more guys, were able to get through. They've continued following, and now we get Bull's goodbye. And I really love Bull's because he's just sitting there basically telling Lee and Dan to leave. And whenever Lee's leaving, he goes like, guess maybe Mike and Spade may be calling me. And then he says, "Don't ever be afraid of nothing, Missy, because the 3 of us will be watching over you." Yeah. And then he sacrifices himself, kills Hunter, and then he dies obviously too. Just leading to an amazing epilogue, though, because the epilogue is one of the best last shots. Honestly, I love this last shot so much. It's so just like it's like a tearjerker last shot almost, like just a really happy tears though.
Yeah, Ford's definitely.
Like I think this is why I think it's a happy movie. Like I think those are happy tears for me. Whenever I see the end of this movie, it's like tearing up in a happy way. Like.
No, yeah.
These guys' sacrifice was worth it. Essentially, like they created.
Especially when she like yells their name.
Yes. The name of the baby.
Well, first she yells his name, just the guy that just died, because you're like, oh wait, is he still alive? And
yeah,
it's like the baby.
Yeah. Damn.
And then it's like Stanley Kostick and Alan O'Malley. Where are you?
Yeah.
That's so good.
No, but yeah.
They name him after all of them, and I love the shot of the 3 hats on the wall. Whenever Dan's basically just saying, "One of these days I'll tell you." The legend, or the legend of the 3 bad men, the 3 bass men to ever name a baby, essentially. Yeah. And then it's the shot of them just riding on the horizon together.
Damn. Okay, there's a movie that we both have seen, Blake, that has a similar thing in it about the naming of the baby. You know what I'm talking about? Charade.
I don't remember
The ending of Charade?
I don't remember the ending of Charade, I guess.
Okay, never mind.
Damn.
If you've seen Charade, you know what I'm talking about. Obviously not.
I don't remember Baby Shit, I guess.
Well, it's not what they're gonna. They remember which Audrey Hepburn tells Cary Grant they're gonna name their kids.
Yes, I do actually.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, whenever you go that way, I do remember.
Yeah.
He's named like 5 different names. In that movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. Anyway.
But yeah, that is the end of Three Bad Men. Great last shot. Love it so much. But next week, we are going to be doing... We're actually going to be coming back to Shyamalan. We've done Shyamalan before. With
Shyamalan Part 2.
Shyamalan Part 2. With, we did him before with like Knock at the Cabin and
Signs.
I think we haven't done a new movie in a while either.
Yeah, it's
A new release.
kind of dry for us, I guess.
Oh, blaming
We
Hollywood.
did Challengers.
Oh,
We
yeah,
did
we did
Challengers.
Challengers.
Yeah.
We also... there was a Hamaguchi film that came out that we just, like, none of us have seen. We've been slacking a little bit, too.
To be fair,
We can't just blame the movie industry.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of new movies, to be fair.
Like, I still need to watch the new Bonatello movie, The Beast, that people say is really good. I have it downloaded.
Let us know. Okay. I still haven't seen John 4, and you want me to watch whoever that was?
You want me to watch The Beast?
You definitely should watch 4.
You're like, I can do both.
Yeah, you can do both. Yeah.
The Beast sounds like a game show. It actually is a game show, I'm pretty sure.
Why a game? Why is that the first thing that goes to your mind?
Because I'm pretty sure it's a game show.
It's time down.
Right.
It's time down.
All right.
Yeah, so until next week, we hope to see you guys flying through the clouds.